This video is going to be very shocking, educational, and entertaining, because today, you are about to discover a hidden side of human history that most people never talk about. What did people use before condoms? How did the idea even begin? Who invented it? What did the first versions actually look like? And more importantly, why did humans feel the need to create such a thing in the first place? This is not just about protection. This is a story about survival, fear, science, and human creativity across thousands of years. You might think this is a simple modern invention, but the truth is far deeper and far more surprising, because it connects to wars, diseases, royal secrets, and even ancient rituals. So stay with me, because by the end of this documentary, your perspective on something so common today will completely change, and you will start seeing it not as an object, but as a symbol of human intelligence and survival instinct. Long before modern medicine existed, humans were already dealing with problems related to intimacy, diseases, and unwanted pregnancies. In ancient times, people did not have access to scientific knowledge like today, but they were still observant and extremely curious. They noticed patterns in life. They understood that certain actions led to certain consequences, even without knowing the biology behind it. This awareness pushed them to search for ways to protect themselves in creative and sometimes unusual ways. Early civilizations like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans experimented with different materials and methods. Some used linen coverings, some used animal intestines, while others applied herbal mixtures, believing they could prevent disease or pregnancy. These methods were far from perfect, but they marked the beginning of an idea that would evolve over centuries and shape human health in ways no one at that time could even imagine. One of the earliest recorded references comes from ancient Egypt around 3000 to 1000 BC, where evidence suggests men used linen sheaths. These were not necessarily used for birth control, but possibly for protection against diseases or even for ritualistic reasons linked to beliefs about purity and hygiene. Some historians believe these coverings were also symbols of status or identity, showing that even early humans connected health with social meaning. In ancient Rome, there are records suggesting the use of animal bladders or intestines as protective barriers. These materials were cleaned, treated, and sometimes tied with strings to stay in place. Imagine the discomfort, the smell, and the limitations of such methods. Yet people still relied on them because the fear of disease and consequences was real and powerful. This shows that even thousands of years ago, humans were willing to go through discomfort just to reduce risk, which tells us how serious these concerns were. As time passed, humanity entered the Middle Ages, and with it came one of the deadliest diseases in history, syphilis. This disease spread rapidly across Europe during the 15th and 16th centuries, causing fear, panic, and suffering on a massive scale. People did not fully understand how it spread, but they knew it was connected to intimate contact, and it could destroy lives. It was during this period that the need for protection became more urgent than ever. An Italian physician named Gabriele Falloppio is often credited with describing one of the first documented condom-like devices. In the 1500s, he suggested using a linen sheath soaked in a chemical solution to protect against disease. According to his claims, he tested it on hundreds of men and reported that none contracted syphilis. This was a huge step because for the first time there was an attempt to apply scientific thinking rather than random experimentation, which slowly shifted the concept from tradition to early science. The word condom itself has a mysterious origin, and historians still debate its true source. Some believe it comes from a figure named Dr. Condom, who allegedly served King Charles II of England and provided protective sheaths to prevent unwanted pregnancies and protect the king from disease. Others argue the term may have originated from Latin or other languages meaning container or sheath, which would make more logical sense from a linguistic perspective. The truth is, no one knows for sure, but what is certain is that by the 17th and 18th centuries, condoms were becoming more recognized across Europe. During this time, they were primarily made from animal intestines and were reusable. Yes, reusable, which means they were washed, dried, and used again, sometimes multiple times, which today might sound shocking, but at that time it was considered practical because materials were expensive and not easily available. In the 18th century, condoms started to appear more openly in society and became part of everyday life for certain groups. They were sold in shops, advertised in pamphlets, and even discussed in literature, which shows that awareness was slowly increasing. Some were custom-made and quite expensive, which meant only wealthy individuals could afford them. This created a gap where poorer populations remained at higher risk of disease and unwanted pregnancies. Famous historical figures are believed to have used them not just for protection, but also to avoid responsibilities associated with relationships. Despite their growing popularity, there was still a lot of stigma attached to them. Many people associated condoms with immorality or secretive behavior, yet their use continued to grow quietly in the background, driven by necessity rather than social approval. The real revolution came in the 19th century with the discovery of rubber, which completely transformed the concept of protection. In 1839, Charles Goodyear developed the process of vulcanization, which made rubber stronger, more flexible, and durable. This discovery changed everything for condom production because it allowed for more reliable and consistent products. By the mid-1800s, rubber condoms began to be manufactured on a larger scale. These were thicker than modern ones and often custom-fitted, but they were more reliable than earlier versions. They could also be reused, which remained a common practice at the time. However, hygiene standards were still not ideal, and many people lacked proper knowledge about safe use, which meant that even with better materials, the risk was not completely eliminated. As the 20th century began, condoms became more refined and more accessible to the general population. In the 1920s, latex was introduced, which allowed for thinner, more comfortable and disposable products. This was a major step forward because it improved both safety and convenience. With the rise of public health awareness, especially during times when diseases like syphilis and later HIV became serious concerns, governments and health organizations started promoting their use as a preventive measure. Advertising also played a role, though it was often restricted due to social norms and regulations, which limited open discussion. Despite these challenges, condoms gradually became part of mainstream conversation, especially as education improved and people became more aware of the importance of protection. Understanding the benefits of condoms is important because their purpose goes far beyond what many people assume. They are one of the most effective methods for preventing sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, which has impacted millions of lives around the world. They also play a significant role in family planning by reducing the risk of unintended pregnancies, which can have long-term social and economic effects. Unlike many other methods, condoms do not require medical procedures or long-term commitments, which makes them accessible to a wide range of people regardless of background or income. They are simple, easy to use, and widely available in most parts of the world, which increases their effectiveness as a public health tool. However, like any tool, condoms are not perfect, and they do have limitations which are important to understand. Improper use can reduce their effectiveness significantly. For example, not using them correctly or consistently can lead to failure, which defeats their purpose. Storage conditions also matter because heat or friction can damage the material, making it less reliable. There are also rare cases of allergies to latex, which require alternative materials such as polyurethane or other synthetic options. Despite these challenges, education and awareness can significantly improve their effectiveness. The key is understanding how to use them properly and responsibly, because even the best product cannot work if it is used incorrectly. Another interesting aspect is how cultural attitudes towards condoms have changed over time and continue to evolve even today. In some societies, they are openly discussed and promoted as essential for health and safety, which leads to higher usage and better outcomes. In others, they remain a sensitive or even taboo topic, which can create barriers to access and education. These differences often influence how people perceive and use them, which directly impacts public health. Education plays a crucial role here because misinformation or lack of knowledge can lead to risky behavior. Over the years, many campaigns have aimed to break the stigma and encourage open conversations about sexual health, which includes the use of condoms and responsible decision-making. Today, condoms come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and materials designed to improve comfort and effectiveness. Modern technology has allowed manufacturers to create ultra-thin versions, textured surfaces, and even non-latex options for those with allergies. Some are designed for increased sensitivity, while others focus on durability and protection, which shows how much innovation has taken place. This level of advancement reflects how far the concept has evolved, from simple linen or animal-based coverings to highly engineered products backed by science and research. What started as a basic attempt to prevent disease has turned into a sophisticated solution that plays a critical role in global health and personal safety. In conclusion, the story of condoms is not just about a product, but about human survival, adaptation, and progress across centuries and civilizations. From ancient experiments with linen and animal materials to modern, scientifically designed products, this journey reflects how humans respond to challenges and seek solutions even in the most difficult circumstances. It is a reminder that Even the most ordinary things in our daily lives have deep and fascinating histories, shaped by necessity, innovation, and the desire to protect life. So the next time you think about this topic, remember that it is not just about protection. It is about centuries of learning, courage, and the constant effort to improve human life and create a safer future for generations to come.